I'll just record on this computer.
And you're getting a notice that your bandwidth is low, so you're not in real time with your movements.
Okay, as long as my recording's good. That's what happens when you try to use the whole internet. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the Meet Leonard, and that is, it's on AppSumo, but it'll be available for a while. It looks like they have a 14-day free trial, and how we are currently using it effectively. Just a note, Meet Leonard is on Chrome only, and it helps you manage your LinkedIn. The first one I think everyone thought was really confusing was just how it works, and there was some issues with terms of service questions. It absolutely does technically violate the terms of service for LinkedIn, but if you use it responsibly and not in a spamming way, there shouldn't be a problem. So essentially what it does is it replicates what you would already do in your sales cycle on LinkedIn, but it does it automatically for you. So to kind of give you an example, on LinkedIn, you might go in and you'll do a search. So Paula and I were working, so commercial real estate brokers. You would do a search.
Okay, so just FYI, all I'm seeing is a picture of you. I'm not seeing your screen.
Let me flip my screen real quick. Down, share screen. We are going to.
I mean, looking at you is okay, but we're here for the. There we go.
There you go. Okay, so you can see the screen now. So manually, we would go search commercial real estate broker, select people, and then we'd go over here to filters, and I might say I only want to talk to the owners of each individual company. That would narrow us down to just about 1,100 contacts, 1,118 now.
Wow.
Growing industry. So you could manually go through here and say, I want to connect to David Tuttle, and it would then ask you to add a note where I could add something like, hey, David, loves your profile. We are currently creating some, what would you call it, Paula? Creating information. We're currently creating, let's not say some, I hate that word, resources for commercial, for the commercial real estate.
You know, their true purpose.
No, it's not. Somebody else connected? Yeah, somebody else chimed in. Oh, we got Teresa.
There's a Teresa.
Hi,
but she just muted herself.
Okay. Yes, she can't be on live. She's at work. Loved your profile. We're creating resources for the commercial real estate industry. Oh, let's go back on here. We recently wrote an extensive article on creating a complete social media marketing strategy. Helps when you spell right. Creating.
Nope, go to creating.
Oh, there we go. Creating.
You wrote create.
A complete social marketing strategy specific for your industry. Would love to know your thoughts. So this is just an easy way to add a little value at the same time that, we're just connecting. I'm just kind of letting them know, and I'm actually going to go steal my link because I have a specific bit.ly link that we've been using for this particular promotion, that I can track how many people are clicking on it. You can see here where we've been sending it out, and we've actually been using Meet Leonard at this point, or at least I have to do it. So if I go back over here, oh, it gave me the whole thing. Why did it do that? Oh, that was a different one.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks weird.
These are people connecting to me. One of these days I'm going to find it. I guess I was messaging a bunch of people for. There we go. Here's the article.
You could put those bit.ly links in Evernote.
Yeah, you could.
And then you wouldn't have to go.
I'm just trying to pull it really quick because my Evernote is loaded. So, it did it again. All right, we're just going to click on it. I wonder why it did that. You are? Hold on. All right, so I'm going to actually go over to Safari here for a hot minute and pull a bit.ly. Jeez Louise. Here's the page. Let me try to do that. Let me get bit.ly here. Bit.ly. And use it. And the reason to use bit.ly is because the bit.ly link is going to be super short, whereas the whole one is going to be super long. And you only have so many characters inside of LinkedIn, this little message. So here we go. Thoughts. I'm going to paste my little bit.ly here that's trackable. I can copy the message, send the invitation. So I've now connected with him, and I can come back here, and I can do the same thing for Kyle. And I have to come back here and type his name, do it again. And I have to sit here and manually do that, and that takes a preposterous amount of time if you're trying to reach as many people as possible and scale it. However, literally, Meet Leonard does this exact same thing for you automatically. You just set up the parameters, and you leave this open on Chrome, and it will go through and do it for you. So let me go over here. So there's the app schema where it kind of describes some of that. You just go into I'm in Chrome. So if you'll see, I'm in Chrome right now. Once you install it, again, it's a Chrome extension. I'm sitting right here with the list that I want to send my message to. You go over to your Meet Leonard icon in the top right. Oh, it's already up here. I'm not paying attention. So you have a couple different options. You can visit and connect. These two right here are going to be really big ones on the awareness stage of the customer value journey on building that initial, again, just the initial awareness so people even know who you are, and also starting those engaging conversations. So for the one that we will find the most value in, that I think most people will find the most value in, is the connect. So I'm going to hit connect up here. Send.
How did you get the menu bar from the top right to the middle of the page? Just drag it?
No, you just click on it.
No, they're seeing theirs on when they click on it. That's where they're not seeing it on like you see yours.
You don't see this right here with Meet Leonard?
Go to your search.
Yeah, I see it in the top right. Okay.
You have to be on Chrome.
Now it's on.
And you have to be in LinkedIn, and you have to have that extension installed, and you have to be logged and signed in to Meet Leonard.
Go to your search.
Okay.
And you do have to be in the search.
So it just automatic.
Let's do commercial real estate brokerage. That's just what she's doing.
Okay.
Do you have it when you do
I'll play with it. No, when I did the search, I did this yesterday. My menu remained in the top right, the way you saw it. I don't remember. Yeah, click on that.
Yeah. So it's only.
Yeah, that's the way mine stayed.
All right.
It didn't come across to the page.
It's only when you go into your search. It's come up.
Not a big deal.
No, it is literally, you have to be in a people search like that. Across the board, not a company search. It must specifically be a people search, because if you do it for a company, it's not going to do anything.
Okay.
It's not title. You can search by title, but you are looking at people. So for you, Randy, I know you're more like in the manufacturing realm. You're going to be looking for people who are in the manufacturing industry, and you can use like the filters over here and, industry. Let's see, railroad manufacturers, electronic manufacturing. So you can narrow it down that way, but you are definitely in the people search, and that's really important. And if you can get it, now this goes back to a marketing standpoint. if you can get it narrowed down as much as humanly possible to you so that you can tailor a conversation, you're only going to be, depending on the level of LinkedIn membership you have, it's going to recommend that you only send so many a day and do this. So I think for me, it recommended 50. 49 is actually what it stops swiping at you at. You can do more, but then it's kind of like at your own risk. Free, I think, is 25. And when you have a enterprise level account, which is hyper expensive, it's pretty much unlimited. If you have a sales navigator one, you have, I think it's 100. So narrow it down so you can have the best conversation. So ours was specifically commercial real estate broker owners. Now what this does not do.
So what I did last night was, first I did a company search. I was looking for a specific company. Let's just say Raytheon.
Okay.
And so then I was use this, and I subdivided it to certain people in Raytheon, not people by name, but people by responsibility.
Yeah.
And it gave me like 30 or 40 names. And so I was going to use this tool to then send a message like you did to connect to all these people.
Yes. So the messaging, if you don't,
not as big
to them,
as yours, but still.
Yeah. If you're not already connected into them, you can't.
Right.
You need Leonard to send them a regular message. You need to connect with them first. So I could come in here and select second connections, and that narrows it down to 27. Or I could choose third as well. And those are the ones that are the.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means, like,
what is a second connect?
You and I are a first connection because you and I are already connected on LinkedIn. A second connection means I can more easily connect to people who are connected to you, but I'm not connected to them. So I am 2 people away. And a third connection means I'm 3 people away. So 3 connections was actually pretty irrelevant. We'll do second connections. These might already have invites sent to everybody. Let me just go ahead and clear that because that pretty much closed it off. We'll go back to owners. So what I mean by just narrowing it down is you can customize the not commercial. It's kind of like a commercial. The text. So I could say I'm specifically reaching out to owners of real estate firms in the commercial sector. The only problem is the way I've done it, I still pull up a lot of people who mainly do residential. So I kind of left it a little vague. So we're in here, and if I want to connect to these people, I can go up here, click connect. Now you can go in and create custom invitations. I've had a little issue when I go ahead and I create them, that in the connect stage, it's not working. Right here, and this is a big difference, I didn't know this when I first did the original tutorial, that you can click this button. So where I wanted to put a name, click right there. And the reason that's kind of important, if you notice, yeah, right here it has first name in between the percentage signs. The N is capitalized. So when I wrote it out, I did not capitalize the N, and it left the word first name in there instead of, the name. Let's see if I can, right there. See how the N is capitalized? So just use the first name here. I would never recommend using last name because a lot of the people, like myself, change up the last name so it says something else. And so you don't want to be typing in something really weird. So first name is sufficient to show that it's personalized. And like I said, just click the button. Didn't know it was a button. I would like to later on see some like company name or title or something like that. But now this is it. So this right here is enough, though, to be personal. We're just connecting. They may never even see this message because a lot of people connect and then never check the message that's sent along with it. So where that comes into play is I'm going to send them a welcome message. So a welcome message is after they've connected with you, this is going to be my follow-up message. I don't want to completely automate an actual conversation. So you're just keeping it very general. I have mine going out 1 day after they connect. So that's, you could do 1 hour or 12 hours, but I just want it to be a little ping. So I don't want to do it right afterwards. You could take it out as far as 7 days for this I don't know if I would want to do that, because then if they actually start a real conversation, it's just not the same. So you know what, we'll actually change it to 1 hour. Like, I'm actively sitting here on LinkedIn with nothing better in my life to do than play on LinkedIn. And so my first one is that, again, remember you're having an actual conversation with a human being. You're not selling them anything. You're just talking. So naturally, if somebody connects, you know, it's just thanks or thank you for the connection. I've just sent them an article. Did you get a chance to read the article? Would love to hear your thoughts. We're going to do 12 hours? I'd love to hear.
Like 1 day.
You like that? Okay, consensus is 1 day. Here are your thoughts. It is a long article.
Last week.
But that's just it. With an article, you either read it or you don't.
Yeah.
So my thought is either you read it immediately or it just didn't happen. So we'll do 1 day. That's the consensus. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you have, I do want to, again, I really want to give them a motivating reason to respond. If you have any specific thoughts or input, would love to.
Input, not input.
Oh, I can't spell, Randy. Would love to feature.
I know, neither can I.
Thank you, Randy. Quote and resource with a link back to your website. So owners are usually, if they have any idea about any kind of digital marketing whatsoever, a link back to your website or even just the authority there, that's like a nice little draw, especially if they're trying to put their company out there actively, which is what I'm specifically, searching out for. So again, I've just had a conversation. Hey, we're reaching out to commercial real estate brokers. Here's an article. What do you think? I'm not selling. And then saying, thanks for the connection. Or you know what? Thanks for the connection. We're going to go and personalize it again with first name. The other thing this does is it builds search engine optimization by people pinging that website constantly. So if I'm just launching a new blog post, this is a great way to get eyes on target in addition to sending it out to people who are already on my list. The other one is, just limited of my time. Oh, if you are pixeling an audience. So if you're running any kind of Google ads or Facebook ads where you have the ability to retarget anybody who's been on specific web pages, you've now just added them to your list so that they can never run away from you. I had already created some tags, and I'll show you where to do that later. So I'm putting commercial real estate broker owner, CRBO. Connect to premium profiles only. I'm not worried about that. I do, and this is another major feature, download CSV. So each one of these people that we're connecting to, I do not now have to go back by hand. It will bring me the CSV for my people to work off, whether it's either adding them into a sales lead if we think they're viable, and giving us some more information, their email, their phone number, whatever that they've given LinkedIn. So I'm going to hit send. I notice you have a premium LinkedIn membership. So this is the warning it gives you. Let's see what I put it on here. Okay, so I have it linking to 200. I'm actually going to take it to 100. I'll take the hit because I know it's not going to do anything. I've done 100 before, but that's normal for me. So, and proceed, I accept the risk. So if you have, so what the risk is, do you have a free or paid LinkedIn membership? You have extremely low, what's called commercial limits. It has nothing to do with me, Leonard, whatsoever. If you go and LinkedIn says, based on how you're using the program, you're trying to build leads, it'll start docking you and it'll throw you like in a little LinkedIn connection jail where you're no longer allowed to connect to people for like a day, or you'll have to put an email in every single time you try to connect to someone. So it recommends 25 if you have a free one. You can probably get away with 50, but where you're going to get into trouble is if you have a free account, is you're only allowed to have so many outstanding connection requests. So if I think it's 500, once you've attempted to connect to 500 people and those people have not gotten back to you or not connected. So let's say you hit up 1,000 and 500 connected with you and 500 didn't. once you hit that limit of 500 non-connects, you're done. You can no longer connect to people until you delete your connection request. That goes away for them as an option. That's actually something that Meet Leonard also automates, which I like. So if you have a paid account, I have a premium paid account. I think there's one lower tier for people who are job searching. And now the one that LinkedIn's moving towards.
I have Sales Navigator.
Yeah, like Brandy Sales Navigator, which helps you take your leads and puts them all in one space. So let's say she's connected to 5,000. Paula's connected to 5,000 people, but only 1,000 of them are commercial real estate brokers. She can then on Sales Navigator say, I only want to see the list of post by commercial real estate brokers, because then she can comment only on her leads. Like she can make a lead list that is only her leads, so that if she's going to take the effort to integrate with anybody's post, she can only focus on her leads. Because those are little touch points every time you comment on somebody, if it's worthwhile. So if you can see here on the screen now, Meet Leonard is going through and it's finding people I have not connected to on my list of 1,118 results, and it's sending a connection request. If you'll notice, it kind of like counts down and it waits. That is actually not my computer being slow. That is the actual program making it seem like a human person is sitting there and connecting. Because Meet Leonard completely lays on top of LinkedIn, it doesn't ever actually connect. It wants to replicate, because it doesn't want to get you in trouble, it wants to replicate what it's like for someone to sit down and do this manually. And there's no way you can connect to 100 people in 1 minute. It takes time. And so one of the things I was watching, they had a webinar that walked through their process every so often, like, I don't know, right there, taking a short break from sending connection requests. The idea is that nobody sits there on LinkedIn and just for 8 hours connects with people all day long. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you take a coffee break. But they crack a little joke. It reminds me of Ad Espresso with their little coffee drinking guy. In fact, their guy looks really close to the Meet Espresso guy, or the Ad Espresso guy. But they take a little break, because that's what real people would do. So I actually really like that, because it keeps you from ticking off LinkedIn, which is always,
you're probably gonna cover, but so you've got a list of 1,000 people, and you've decided to do 100 at a time. Okay, so when it does the 100, does it then start to do the next 100, or does it wait a goodly amount of time?
I believe it does it by 1 day. So here's where that, to me, kind of has an issue. They do go ahead and tell you, pick the smallest list possible, right? And you can save these searches inside of LinkedIn. Save this search so that you don't have to keep on creating it. Let's say I didn't do anything else with this, only dedicated to connecting all day long. Let's say I had a list of 100,000 I wanted to connect. Every single time I bring up LinkedIn on Chrome, it would start doing that process again, 100 per day.
Okay.
What you cannot do is you can't go over here and tell it to connect or message or email or campaign at the same time it's doing another function. So once you ask it to do another function, it stops doing the previous one.
Okay.
And so that was another big complaint, that you can't on a multiple say, I want it to do this and I want it to do this and I want it to do this. I would like to see it almost like my daughter plays The Sims. Right. It's addictive. You can like stack it. I want you to do this function and then this function, then this function, and then that function. At this point in time, it does not do that. You tell it to do one and it does that. So I would like to see the capability where it does the 100 that I've just asked it to do, but then I can turn around and tell it to, I want you to visit the people, visit the next 500 that you didn't get to send a message to, right? So that I show up on the visit report, right? And then the other one would be completely different, and I'll go into that here in a moment. Any questions on the connecting side?
Now, yeah, they may have done that, what you just described, intentionally, so LinkedIn doesn't detect it as totally automated, no human in the loop stuff, which they don't like.
There is, and like, so everyone really likes Facebook bots, and that's been kind of like the rage because a lot of people are making money off of it. You had Molly Pittman build it for Digital Marketer, and it did so well. She left Digital Marketer and launched her own consulting company just for Facebook bots. The problem is Facebook bots are being inappropriately used so badly that I could, once Facebook gets over its current little issues with privacy concerns, that will be its next place to tackle are these messenger bots. This one basically operates the same way the Facebook one does, except especially if you're in the B2B space, it's much more relevant and nobody has to come to your page. You can reach out to theirs. Facebook bots limited you to, they had to message you first. It was almost like opting into phone calls or emails. This one gives you the chance to kind of opt them in, if they select a request for you. Did y'all ladies have any questions on this section? Paula, you see how this is exactly what we did.
Oh my gosh, would have saved so much time.
And the thing that I like about this is I could have turned this on. This is something that you can set up. I like to set up tedious tasks like this while I go to bed. So if I'm uploading a lot of YouTube videos or, have to download videos are the big one because they take forever and they mess up my Wi-Fi in the house. This is one you can set before bed and it's just done for you, especially if you're doing a big list like I'll get to you. So I'm going to go had it stop here because I think everyone gets the point of this one and it'll keep on going. If I want to finish this list, I just open up my saved search again and start it over again and, go again. This is absolutely something I could take the words that I typed and throw it over into an Evernote so that I could easily find it. And I might do that. I'll put together a more involved business growth network training on how to do this because for the B2B space, it's pretty awesome. And even if you're not using me, Leonard, to do it by hand, it's great. So one that Paula was asking, why would you visit profiles? So if I visit, let me open up another LinkedIn page so I don't lose my list here. Somewhere in here, let's see if I can find it. Right here, 232 people have viewed my profile.
See, I got that. Okay.
And that actually comes direct to my inbox on a regular basis that certain people have 5 people. Well, I actively use it a little bit more. Yeah, so I actively use it, and there was a time, one of my very first clients, it was important, she was B2B SaaS product, and so connecting to, for her, probably how I got sucked into the digital marketing community was by her, was connecting with all these digital marketers. So right here, these are all the people who viewed my profile. Now, I have a paid account. If you have a free account, you might get to see 3, and it may or may not include their names. But all these pop up for me. So, here's a good example. Michael Canella is a second connection commercial real estate broker. I probably sent him, I did send him a message right here, pending. And you can see that it was 3 hours ago. If I'm actively looking to pursue people or I wanted to reach out, I don't really necessarily use this, but it is a very early level ping. And then I have the option to connect here with any of these people. So I sent him an actual email. I'm going to ask to connect to him now because this is somebody I actually emailed to do business with him after somebody else was not nice to me, a competitor. We're going to leave it at that. But other people, some of these, like, I'm not connecting to this person, but she connected with me and I accepted, and I can now see her as someone who's viewed. If you'll notice, you get a little bit of information. I get their full name, I get their title, and generally how they found you. So one of the places people can find you is like on, if you recently connect to somebody, it'll show up on the person you connected's feed. So people will hunt through there. I don't find this to be really good unless you've optimized your account. So if you have not optimized your LinkedIn account to be specifically targeting a certain group of people. So right here on my account, you can see actually my first name is Jenna Apgar, comma. It is not limited to just, I made that my whole first name. And then warfare marketing strategist is technically in my last name spot. And that way, no matter if I comment on somebody or if somebody sees that I've looked at somebody, it says Jenna Acklar, warfare marketing strategist. So if by chance you're looking for a marketing person, you see that right up front. And instead of like saying manager, I have architecting profit machines in the real estate and legal industries. So if you have any want for marketing and you are real estate and legal, you might come to my page. But again, if they click on my profile and my summary does not reflect something that's specific up here, so I can tell you right now, I need to work on my summary because I don't feel like that it specifically says anything that speaks to the real estate and the legal industries. I have no links to articles that are specific, so I could do that in here and post more and be more specific. I'll go ahead and just show you a visit. I could say I still want to add tags. Tagging helps you group people later on. So this is that same list. I'm going to go ahead and download a CSV file just to see what I get from it. Go ahead.
The visit is you visiting
Their page.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say proceed because there's no way I'm going to let it run for 500 results. So right now it is actively visiting Barry B. Bounds. It's actively going to visit Perry Spinella next. So whenever they get that email in their inbox that says so-and-so has viewed your connection or your page, I'm going to show up. So if they have, this is one where it might be worth, do they even have that as an option? Yeah, this might be worth saying I only want premium. So I'm going to stop that one. I'm actually going to select premium only and restart it. Because the premium people are actually going to get to see my information. So I can save myself some time and focus on the people who are actively going to see my stuff.
You didn't put any tags this time.
That's fine. I'm not going to let it run that long. Randy, did you have any questions about the visit?
Nope.
Y'all ladies?
Got it.
Do y'all have any questions about visiting people?
So is it worth it to get the premium to see all these people, and is it worth it, or can we just?
The only reason that I have premium is that I have LinkedIn Profinder, and LinkedIn Profinder allows people to reach out to me, or they go to LinkedIn and they say, I need someone for social media. And then I get an email that says there's someone in Profinder that wants types of services you're offering, and I can immediately offer a proposal. So for my team, this is a lot of where I said we got a LinkedIn lead. That's where we got them. Okay. And how many of those have y'all closed? 0.
Yeah.
So I've gotten great conversations. Mm-hmm. Not one of them is closed. They're like my worst close rate ever. So would I get it for that? No. Would I get premium for this? Actually, I actually have a note in my calendar when my premium for this month is over, and I'm going to turn around and switch it to Sales Navigator for $10 more, $4 more, whatever it is, to see if that's worth it. Okay. But I mean, other than the ability to mass contact people and it not care how many connection requests went unclaimed, I don't care. It's not, yeah. As I've been auditing expenses, this has been one that's been like, yeah. Okay. Do we need it? This connection tool right here and Meet Leonard will be the only reason I try out the Navigator to see where it's going. And also, I think it's really important to pick social medias that are not completely bloated. Like Facebook's bloated now. Do you still have to be on social media? Will I completely send out Facebook ads on social media? Sure. Well, I have my organic post for research. Sure. But the same way that like Mari Smith or somebody built up a Facebook following, you can't do that now. Whereas LinkedIn is still untapped enough that you can do it. Yeah. So for that reason, and I'll try some lives and a couple things that I saw some other people doing, but that's why I have it. So you can see it's just going through here and it's visiting. This is definitely something I would do at bedtime. I don't exactly see the greatest one. If you had something that was super compelling, if you're just you have the possibility and you can set it up real quick before bedtime, sure. But And I would probably connect in the morning and start that going while I'm drinking my coffee and chatting and on Facebook. That way, if a conversation is started, I can, be there to participate. But for viewing, do it before bed. Don't waste a big amount of time unless you are seeing different results. All right, I'm going to stop Leonard there. So the next one is post. They actually do not have the capability to post on your LinkedIn page yet. It is something that's in the pipeline. We use a different, this would never be a reason that I would meet Leonard. If you happen to have it and you don't have another scheduler, that's fine. And all that's going to do is make sure that when you have if you go to your LinkedIn, that it'll show your post. I think you have to, I'm not even sure I can see my own post views. I can see my views on my post. I don't know if I can see my post. So those are just the articles I've written all along. I haven't been posting to my own yet. Bad on me. That's just going to post for you on your normal page. Let me go back to the search here. All right, so the next one is going to be message. Messaging is going to be interesting. So messaging would be strictly to people who are your first connections. They cannot be people you are not currently connected with. So in this particular case, what do I have something low for? Let's see if I could do. I don't want to do it to my other lead. Not very, we'll do commercial. No, we'll do residential. Or realtor. I want to hit up my commercial people with this. I would expect more people to have realtor in their name at 45. So I'm going to go to filters. I'm going to choose first connections only. Take out owner. Oh, that's why I had owner in there. And I'm going to focus on the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that's 110 results. I think that's a pretty good number. And remember, these are all, and this is very specific, these are my first connections. We can go to my Safari real quick. And I'm going to look up, I'm still in Chrome. Let me hit Safari. Here we go. It's all small. I'm going to look up an article that we did, warfare.marketing, that I have another team working on building the SEO for. So I'll throw it a little bone too and make a bit.ly for it. All right, there's my bit.ly. Create, paste it, and copy it. All right, so now I have my bit.ly link. So for these people, again, first connections, this would be a great one if you are actively putting out content, if you've done a YouTube video, if you've done a training, if you've done anything that you want to get eyeballs on. Once you're an actual first connection, you have the ability, much like the Facebook opt-in ones, to send them a message. So I'm going to select message. I actually have, this is where they save, you can build pre-done messages over in settings. These were meant for connecting to people. So that was a loss for me, that you can't save connection messages, but you can save these messages that you bulk send. For now, I'm going to do the custom ones. Hey there. I don't want to say this is Jenna because we're already connected. I recently wrote an article on how to build a complete marketing strategy for realtors. I'm going to customize it, right? And so let's put their name.
Get rid of the second how.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I recently wrote an article on how to build a complete marketing strategy for realtors, from awareness to active referrals. Can't spell referrals. Did I spell it right? I feel like there's supposed to be 2 F's or something. From awareness to active referrals, realtors love referrals. Would love to know your thoughts and if this is helpful to you. Thanks in advance. I could probably do better, but this is going to be tagged for a residential real estate realtor. I do want to download the CSV because, again, especially this one with being first connection, the CSV is going to include all the information that I can get as a first connection, including email and phone number. These are great ones to add to your custom audiences for Facebook if you're pixeling, or to build your call list if you're cold calling. So if we wanted to have, I think Morgan's working on residential realtors, this CSV is a perfect call list to invite people to an event for real estate agents. Can add
Where does the CSV get saved? Did you hear me?
It comes into a download.
Where does it go?
Right here, see this CSV right here? It's at the bottom of my page, and then it goes into my downloads.
Oh, got it.
That would depend on how you program your computer. You can add attachments like
okay, got it. I see.
Yeah. So if I had an infographic or a cool post or some kind of image or a PDF, I can actually attach that in this one. And I'm going to go ahead and say send. And it's going to give me that warning. If you do more than 50 is all we recommend for your level. And again, I'm not going to run this all day, so I'm going to go ahead and say proceed. So right now it's sending all of these first connections of mine that specific message that I've asked them to send. Any questions on that one?
Did you attach the article?
I did. I copied the link right
Did
before.
you attach the article? Got it.
Well, that one was just a link. The attachment would be for like a PDF file, a doc file, an image file.
Right.
Jen, I have a question.
Sure. Hi, Melanie.
If you stop, hi. If you stop, it sounded like you're going to stop the sending at some point, so it's not going to max the 500 or whatever. You're just going to let it go for a little bit. If you go and set up another one with the same specs that you just used, will it show you that you've sent it to them, or do you run the risk of potentially sending the exact same thing to them again?
So I positively know on the connection, it does not show it to them. Like, it will only connect to people that you have not connected to before and sent them before. Now that, I believe, is the risk that it will double send if you actively do this list again and don't let it run. The way you can get around that is by tagging.
Okay.
So I sent it to
that part.
Okay, so if I send it to only people in like RR Realtor, so residential real estate realtors. If I had tagged a certain group of people, I could make sure only the tagged ones are on that list. So the idea here is you're always going to probably want to send and make this list as small as possible. So I actually only have 110 results here. I might want to just let it run. You know, I'll take the risk at 110. I have a paid account. LinkedIn gel is really not a big deal. No one in 3 years has ever lost their LinkedIn account because of Meet Leonard. Absolutely, when I had a free account, I got put in little gel occasionally. But at that point, I earned it. Like, you're
a badass. You broke out.
And they tell you, they just send you, hey, we can tell that you're using LinkedIn for commercial purposes. We need you to jump in and just pay for an account. And, you know, Sales Navigator, I think they're going to try to do away eventually with premium and the old ones and go to the Microsoft Sales Navigator, which is like 74 or 79. Randy can chime in there. I think for military veterans, there's an option for a free year or something. But overall, I mean, let it run. You know, set this up in the morning to the exact group. And this is something, you know, if I have, you know, I spent a long time writing the article that I'm sending out now. So when I had first launched that article, I would probably be sending it to massive list. And I would be okay with that because I want eyes on target. So this particular article, I just received a message from an SEO team that Ryan Dice and his team at Digital Marketer are working on. where they're actively going to increase my SEO listing on, not on-site SEO, but off-site SEO, because they want this particular article above some of the other ones that are out there. So I could very easily, one of the things I was going to ping her back with is, let me write 3 more. If you're going to pay to do my SEO for free on someone else's dime, let me help you with that. And when I write those articles, coming back through and doing that. So when you write an article, just launch it at one time. Pick the entire list you want to launch it to and just let it run. Let it run a week, every time. So one of the things is, if I stop it or I try to do something else, if I try to visit or connect or email, it will stop this process. If I close out my Chrome window, it only pauses the process. So the next time that I turn LinkedIn on, it'll continue the process. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's good to know. I thought it killed out of it altogether, so you really just had to set it to awake and let it be. Yeah,
once you wake it back up and I typically work in Safari anyway, and so this is something that I could just turn on in Google Chrome. Like I said, do it while I'm waiting for my coffee, because it really is that easy to do any one of these. Leave it open in Chrome and work in Safari. Let it just run in the background while I'm doing whatever it is my thing. I mean, it's not taking forever to move through this list. We're on page 5 already out of 10, and we've just been sitting here talking. So, I mean, especially...
And 50 is the one that they say is the safest?
Well, they recommended 50 on mine. It's 110. I don't feel like that's terrible. Again, I've spent a couple years pushing the limits of LinkedIn, and they've never slapped my hand since I've had a paid account. My internet...
If you wanted to play it safe, it's
what?
irritated. Would it be safer to label yours if you want to play within the rules more, like RR Realtor -1, RR Realtor -2? So it's still in the same camp, but it technically is a separate tag, so you can run those groups in smaller batches without fear of repeating your message.
I mean, you can go through and, I'm a big fan of creating a tag strategy before you get started with anything where you're dealing with a CRM, because if not, you start creating willy-nilly and they don't make any sense. You can always go back and change, but yeah, coming up with a tag strategy is definitely a good idea. But here's the thing: you might get in it and be using it, and one thing seemed like a great idea, and then you thought, you know what, that's not really working for me. So don't be afraid to change it. Just rack up a lot of tags. Any questions on sending out that message? I'm a big fan of this, especially once you connect to a lot of people. Like, luckily, I've already connected to, 5,000 people at this point. So I have the capability of sending I have a large group of people. So if you do this long enough, you'll connect to enough people so you can do the messaging. But like Melanie, you're going to be reaching out to a lot of CMOs and business owners. Those are very specific titles, so it's very easy for you to do a search and reach out to them. And then just making sure you tag at least one tag that's, hey, all business owners, all CMOs, all director of marketing. Be very specific. And this is when it goes back and we talk about building your very hyper-specific avatar. This is one of those places where it helps you out.
Yeah. And so when you tag, do you tag with more than one thing?
You can. Right now, I'm not. I haven't. I mean,
I have in the past.
Tag them is, especially if you have a really specific list. So one of the tags that I had that is kind of separated, I have the CRBO, Commercial Real Estate Broker, specifically owner. I have a commercial real estate broker where it's just the broker, not the owner, although the owners will get lumped in there. Commercial or the residential real estate realtor, the residential real estate realtor owner. I guess they would kind of be the broker, but I guess that depends on the situation. Tag it the best way so you know exactly who you're talking to if you decide to send them that private message. So to me, you're mostly going to be building up your tags when you're doing the connecting, and then you're going to be using them when you do the messaging.
So I've searched with others along the line of creating the lists, but I didn't tag them. The service I was using before didn't offer that. And so I can see the value of doing it on the front side so you can benefit from it on the back side.
Yeah, so there's two main services out there. There's one guy who charges $1,500 a year for a license, and he really has no intent on enlarging it. You either bought it or you didn't. But he was one of the first. And then someone came back behind and they built one that is like $15 a month. But what they're focused on is just connecting. It was never meant to build a CRM. So where Meet Leonard was a little different is they actively went and they tried to turn it into a CRM system. So that for the person who doesn't want to build, an active campaign CRM, or a Salesforce complete CRM, that they could kind of build one inside of LinkedIn and forego the other option. So especially for my friend who kind of introduced me to the concept of this automation, he's a recruiter for IT. He does nothing but play on LinkedIn all day, like literally just all day. Like between the idea of being a business recruiter and on top of that being an IT specific one, this is all he does. So for him, this is like a really important tool, and the idea of blocking it off into a CRM was a big deal. So I'm going to stop running that. This one, it's not going to let me click because I don't have Sales Navigator. You must have Sales Navigator to use the in-mail function. And if you're buying Meet Leonard, you need to buy 2 from the AppSumo deal, or if you're doing, and that's just this, that'd be like, what is that, $198. And if you go here, let's go to their pricing. It is, I believe.
Wait, why do you need 2? Why do you need 2 licenses?
The 2 would be if you want to use the in-mail function, or you want to have the ability to use more connections. So the one that you're essentially getting plus a little bonuses for 1 is this business level. If you buy 2, you're getting the enterprise level. So if you'll look, there's difference in the numbers you can do per day, and these numbers really don't increase much simply because you don't want to tick off LinkedIn. Where this one becomes a bigger deal is right here. It's the in-mail. So if I have free account, I think I get like 1 or, oh, is it? Did they sell out? No, it's right here. Buy now.
108 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's changed.
Yeah.
I just brought this window up this morning.
It's $49, and if you want the enterprise version, you got to get $249s.
Yeah, so that's fine, but I couldn't see the benefit of it for what I would need. But that in-mail is nice.
So that was the thing.
Yeah,
like
that's different than what the page you just showed.
When I looked at the numbers, there was no reason to go up, especially when LinkedIn is going to, kind of decrease the numbers you can do anyway. The example on this in-mail, like I don't generally use in-mail unless I really want to message somebody and I want to skip over, I'm not connected, or they're not choosing, they're not electing to connect to me, right? I'm not getting the option to connect. Where this one becomes,
why would you be option to connect?
Well, there are people who just don't ever get on. They don't ever pay attention to LinkedIn unless they're wanting to use it actively. They don't know you. There are some people who, if they don't know you, they won't connect to you. They use it like Facebook. On Facebook, I kind of want to know that. LinkedIn, I don't care. I accept everyone's connection request until I hit my 50,000 limit, and I'm nowhere near there yet. In-mail, though, I sent 2 different people an in-mail this weekend, and one called me back in 30 seconds. Because that in-mail, it doesn't just stop in their LinkedIn account. That one actually goes directly to their inbox, which is why you're limited on it.
That's worth it.
If you have Sales Navigator to be able to use it, you must have both an enterprise account of Meet Leonard, which means you need 2 of the AppSumo deals, but you must also have Sales Navigator on your LinkedIn, which, Randy, how much is that each month? Now
79.
There you go. So $80
you have to have Sales Navigator?
I have premium, but I'm going to be upgrading to Sales Navigator so I can use this. Just because I want to. When you have Sales Navigator, if there are open LinkedIn profiles, that means that somebody has said that my profile will be open and you can send me in-mail. Then this can send a limited, how many is it? 500 a day of personalized bulk emails. Holy moly, Batman. If I have a nice, sweet offer, say, I don't know, 1 post per day on Facebook for $2,400 with a full marketing strategy that might grab the attention of a business owner, and I don't know, say, have time to cold call 500 people a day because it is humanly impossible unless you suck on the phone. This could get your offer out so fast, and because it's through LinkedIn, you're not violating spam laws. And it's not completely going to tick people off. So to me, I think that's worth $80 a month to LinkedIn, and
at least for 1 month.
Yeah, at least for 1 month to try it out and test it. If I get one client, just one, it pays for it for a year. So for me, making the idea of buying 2 was just like a no-brainer. Now it's just me taking the time to go switch over my account to a premium and deciding what will be so enticing that I can put into an email that would make that person click. Anybody have questions on that one? Now that one has, like a lot of the other ones, you'll see the same functioning. The only difference is that you can do that to anybody with an open account on LinkedIn. And I believe
that's worth it. But I don't understand why you have to have the premium in order to be, or the sales navigator rather, to be able to send it to other people. If it lists it here as a benefit, I don't see it saying you have to have it.
If you are a first connection, you don't need Sales Navigator to send a message. If you are not connected to that person, you have to send email. So if you're a second connection, I believe you can send a message to someone. If you're a third connection or further, you cannot. So let's go over here. Let's see. These are all first. Let me change my filter to second connection.
I'm willing to buy the second AppSumo. I couldn't see the reasoning for it before, but now I do. But I'm not willing to do premium or Sales Navigator every month.
Well, then I don't know that other than adding a few more contacts. So see right here, this is a second connection. I can message her because she's a second connection. This is another reason to connect with lots of people in your field, because then you become second connections to the other potential prospects. So even if they say no, you can still message them. You cannot use Meet Leonard to message them. Second connection. You can only do first. Yeah. Now let me change my filter, and I'm going to only go to third. So these are third connected real estate realtors. Oh, it shows that I can connect.
I don't have that filter ability anyway, because that's premium.
What if they are nothing? That might be because I have a premium account, but I still have email people who I can only email. Let's call him out. Well, he's a second now, so I can message him. That's funny. He wasn't a second yesterday. Let me find someone. Let me go back to my search. No, I was trying, because I had to email him. So I was trying to figure out how can I show you the people you have to email. Let me change it to none. Second. I know everybody. Connected somehow to somebody. What would be a field I have? I have so many connections.
Well,
there's a job title that's all
different title. You
have intern. Auto mechanic. There we go. They're not really on LinkedIn as much.
Teacher, the owners.
Connections. Man, it only does.
Doctors, are you connected to doctors? Medical doctors?
Did I spell mechanic right? Third.
See?
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Here's they don't even give me profiles out of your nick, have limited visibility. All right, no love. Completely out of my network. Too far. They have their privacy locked down. Silly people. Let me see if this one.
Preschool teacher.
Third connection. This just shows you how easy it is to connect yourself to everyone on the planet. Let me try page 10. Oh, wow.
I
It
saw
won't
some
even,
thirds in there.
let me try. This is a third person. I can connect. It's not even showing InMail. These silly
From
people
within
locking down their-
LinkedIn, I would see how it would. He's got 12 very viable connections for you. There, right there, Jenna.
I'm telling you, why can't I see?
Years ago.
Oh, I see. These people don't have accounts. These, like I said, auto mechanics don't have. This is so
They
weird.
wouldn't either. Why
Any
do you
other
like
normal
wearing them?
search, I would be able to see this InMail thing. I did it twice this weekend.
Well, we weren't watching then, so that counts
I
for
know.
nothing.
Now I
Yeah.
just get these little dots. Can I message?
Nurse? Would you be connected to nurses?
Were you?
Oh, wait, no, wait, this is
And,
it. I take that back. Here it is. It is showing me right here. So if it's not showing message right here, so on third connections, when I click to message them, this is considered an InMail, and I get $50 a month with my premium account that I can use however I want. But though I'm limited to 50. If you have a Sales Navigator account, you can send an InMail to someone who's a third connection or greater that has an open account, and it doesn't count against your limit. So if you're, let's say, I would say this, if you're not ready to pay for the $80 a month on LinkedIn, but you think there might even be a possibility you might want that, buy the 2 Meet Leonard accounts, because those are yours forever, right? And you can always, once you get LinkedIn ramped up and you figure out how to use it in a way, you can come back to Meet Leonard and go ahead and, to LinkedIn and pay for the advanced account. Or I think you can try it for free for 14 days or something, or try it for 1 month and see if it's worth it. But
So would that, even being the third connection and doing it the way you're saying, go to their mailbox?
this one, so the way that one works is, let me do a search. What would be a search? Realtor. We'll go back to realtor because there's like a million realtors in the world. I'm going to break it down by third connections. That's still 676,000 people. I'm going to break it down more and say Dallas-Fort Worth, so I'm probably going to get a better response. So, did it take my third connection away? Why does it say second connection there? Why? Do I not have third connections real estate agents? I am just connected to someone who knows every real estate agent on the planet. That's.
Write it all out. Everybody, what you have, Jenna.
I'm just telling you. So you would do the same thing. You would do this, and I can't show it to you because I have not upgraded to Navigator. And you would send them a message, except remember the InMail goes to their inbox. So you get to send something directly to them. There's David. Hi, David. We're live right now. And yeah, we're live now. Say hello.
Zoom conference. I'm sitting here at my desk.
It's on the Facebook group if you want the link. And then
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
it is in the Facebook group. The link is there.
In the insiders?
In the insiders. All right, so what do we have as?
Oh, I see. There it goes. It actually wasn't the top one.
Let's see what campaign is. I haven't even messed with campaigns. Any questions about that? That's harder. InMail kind of lost you. InMail is the same as messaging, except
I guess I don't have it. I don't have it, so it's
yeah.
It's not going in.
You probably have the option of like 5 InMails or something, and you just never use them. I only used them because I really wanted to connect to 2 people this weekend. Stay in touch and engage. There's the InMail to people not in your network. Increase your profile awareness. That's viewing. Your personal CRM. So I'm not even sure if campaign yet is built for them. That might not even be something that's ready yet. Campaigns would, oh, I know that. Campaign, take it back. It's not built yet. Campaign would be the same as if I built a drip automation inside of Active Campaign. You will be able to build that style of campaign in Meet Leonard, but not yet. This is where me and David Cohen were like, that would be amazing. Like, maybe we need to program our own. So when this popped up, I was like, oh, that's a give me. Pay $100 or spend several $1,000s doing my own. Thank you. And so things like the digital marketer machine or something like that, you can start putting people in that kind of like automation where like if this, then that, and do a 10-day drip automation. And then you can even turn it off if they respond so that you can have that human conversation. So I'm looking forward to that campaign being up, but it is not up yet. The next set is the CRM. I wish some of
they just haven't developed it.
They haven't developed it yet. It's on their roadmap. So whenever anything comes over here to AppSumo, they're at the point where they're ready to launch it on a bigger way. It's out of beta, but there's still going to be things that are not done yet. So that's something that they're working on. It's just not launched yet. AppSumo is that opportunity to get in while it's still young at a low price. Same thing like we did with a lot of people with Business Growth Network. You're getting people in this has been 3 years. They were moving people in and testing it and getting numbers and figuring out how to make it user friendly. And then the AppSumo is a launch where they're ready to take in, literally thousands of people with a possibility. And then they'll finish their roadmap using the funds they made off of AppSumo and the feedback too. So this is your CRM. You can pull in every single one of your connections is now in your CRM. So that's 5,000 people I just added to a CRM that I don't have in my actual CRM because they have not opted in or I have not physically moved them over. I've not actually clicked on them to see what goes on here. Okay, it just goes to their profile. So I just looked at him. So this is a list of all your connections, and you can sort, let's say I was looking for Sean. It'll bring up every Sean I know. You could do this in LinkedIn. You're just now sticking it to the people that you've specifically searched. It's not showing any tags. What's that?
And connected with or just searched?
These are
in your list doesn't mean they've.
These are actually connections. So these are not people I've searched. These are people I'm actually first person connected to on LinkedIn. Let's see if we can go ahead.
It's not just connected with through Leonard. It's any
all
connection that matches that criteria. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right. I cannot search by business. That's maybe occupation owner. All right. So I can search by occupation. I can search by their name, and I can search by tag. I'll get out there, right? I think that's actually a loss, but I can't search by business. I can see my connection requests. So here are my accepted ones, and this is through Meet Leonard, although it doesn't look like it's working or something. I have responded. This looks like it may not. So here's one that's responded, and that was with a custom response, and I can view the conversation and the tag so I know what I'm getting into. And then my pending request. Yeah, so these are all my pending requests. I've got 5 pages of them. So that's not terrible. And you can see the invitation message that I gave them, the follow-up message that they're getting. You can see most of these are recent. Let's see if I go to page 5. Oh, there's even more pages than that. That's way more than 5 pages. See, this is right here. Let's see if I can zoom this in. This is where I screwed up, and I thought I would type it because it wasn't a button. Didn't know that needed to be a capital N, and that actually sent hi first name out. Let's not do that. Use the button. Oh, I'm sure because that was the whole first one. Well, this is where I actually typed it instead of personal, like hitting the button to say first name, because in theirs, they capitalize the N for some reason. So luckily I only sent like, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I sent 9 of those out. So I'm not, it's not a death wish, but I did send out 9. Templates. So this one has been added just since I was in here. This is the connection invitation messages, that one that I wrote for commercial brokers. I can go over here and I can add a message, and I can type that message we were using in, including the first. This is the button I was talking about, Melody. Click the button. Don't type it. And don't use last name if you missed that. So I can title this, you know, the CRBO message, and I would add my message that I was sending out to everyone here and save it. And then when I go to connect, it's saved. So I already have some sent or set up in the messages space. So you can see this message is actually saved here. This one's actually in the wrong spot. This one should be over in connection invitations. And messages would be like that one we were talking about if you were looking to launch a like a campaign for a blog post or something and let it go out to everybody. I can have custom ones with emails. The only downside of this and your tagging system, you must go create them here in templates first before you can use them over there. So you cannot create them on the side that you're doing it. You have to create them on the back end and use them on the front end. Anyone have any questions? You ladies? Did I completely lose everybody?
Exactly. I'm here.
If you do have any questions, just go to the Business Growth Network side and the Insiders group on Facebook, and go ahead and ask the questions. And I'll put together a full tutorial, like some of the ideas for messaging with scripts and everything inside of our training. Huh? Yeah, in my sleep. Let's see who else is on. Where am I at? Sharing a screen on 2 different sides. Stop screen sharing. Here we go. Randy, did you have any questions?
No, it was pretty good. It was a lot better than the video that I watched of yours last night. That was your learning video.
Hey, that was the point though, because so Rayanne, a perfect example of the reason I wanted to do it that way is I recommend, especially to Rayanne, the Kyvio. Yes. And then I got into Kyvio, and it was way more complicated than I was expecting. And so if you go in there and I'm frustrated and I'm used to building these, then I feel like, you know, I can sit there and say, hey, Rayanne, I think this would be really good for you, but so that you know ahead of time, there's a learning curve. I talked to David about using, I think it was Meet Leonard, and he was like, man, you had at the same pace as like, what about Chrome? What about this? What about that? Where they just don't tell you things. Whereas something like, which one was it? Relay that. You know, they had like the thing that walks you through and shows you exactly what to do. So you can see if it's easy enough for you or not. So yeah, I get it that that one wasn't as good because it was my learning curve. But for people buying it, I think that's better. So you know if it's going to be hard for you to use or not. I got that one too.
I guess the point is if it's hard for you to use, we don't have a chance.
Well, hey, this one was a learning curve for me. It wasn't hard to use, but you can figure it out, right? It wasn't the end of the world. It just took I had to watch their tutorials. I had to figure out how it was operating. And then after that, it's easy for me anyway. David, you're quiet. You got nothing?
Okay. Jenna, take care. I got to run.
You too. Bye.
I'm actually, I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good to go through it, and it is helpful to have somebody else walk through it with you. So I think that was, I actually liked, you know, you walking through on the YouTube video. I thought that was, you know, again, I found the same thing when I went through it. So I think it's important. I think the more we can share the journey as we go through this, I think the faster everybody will come up to speed. So I think that's great.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm going to wrap up. Are there any questions more? Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. If y'all have any other questions or want something similar on anything, I think the one that I'll do next Monday will be for building exposure for your business, because I think this can be, that particular one can directly be integrated into this one. And I'm talking to a lot of people who need that more exposure. I know Paula's working with a basketball coach and a pet sitter, and there's just, who doesn't need more exposure? So, all righty.
It could possibly with the campaign thing you were talking about too.
Which one? Active campaign?
Yeah, as we discussed.
Yes.
Yeah, it could integrate. That concept could feed it.
Yeah, that one's more complicated. I think that's why I hesitate to do that one, because there is so much customization. On the most basic level, I can do that, and I think that would help a lot of people. All right, guys. Well, I will set that up. We'll do exposure next Monday, and I'll set up active campaign for the Monday after that, except for one of these is Easter Monday, not that Monday, the next Monday.
Well, next week.
Yeah, actually, a week
Sunday,
from
but
today.
off Monday. Well, kids do.
We don't.
Yeah, a week from today is
We
Easter
don't?
Monday. So
Friday.
Well, my kids are in
yeah,
school.
we don't have.
Good Friday. Yes. You.
Oh, really?
Your kids are Monday. Yeah.
Hmm.
They're off on Friday.
That makes me a little happy after all these days off I've just had. All right, guys. I will upload this into YouTube and make it available on the membership side. Nobody will be able to see it on open YouTube. It'll just be membership. Okay? Bye.
Okay. See ya.